Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of our FC26 career mode here with Burnley. We're back today kicking off season 5 of The Save. I'm expecting a pretty busy transfer window, so let's just dive straight into the action. Yeah, as we get into the new campaign, obviously a great season last year for Burnley, winning the Carabao Cup and the Europa League, and doing pretty well in the Premier League as well. We went all the way with Liverpool, and well, there was about 6 or 7 teams that could potentially have won it, but Liverpool were the team to eventually run away with it. So for this year, I'm hoping that it's going to be a similar story, competing at the top of the Premier League. And of course, we are playing in the Champions League this year, where our budget is going to be 130 million. Okay, I thought we'd be at about 150, so it's a little bit less than I was expecting. But obviously playing in prime time this season, of course, we had the unexpected event where we carried over no money, so that's maybe why it's a little bit lower. Yeah, and as I run you through the squad hub here again, I don't think there's going to be major changes this year. I mentioned at the end of the previous episode that I don't want to really get rid of too many players. I'm really happy with the squad, and even those squad players that we've got that don't feature too much, I don't really want to get rid of them. I think Hakan will probably leave in the summer. Josh Cullen's still not retiring. He'll probably get a new 1-year extension. But the likes of Leslie and Luca, they're going to be staying. I'm not getting rid of them. We've obviously got a lot of youngsters coming back from loan spells, who a lot of them will probably go back out on loan. There is one, I've actually gone past him. There is one lad who I'm tempted to give some game time to, Benzai, but I don't know, man. Is it better for him to be sat in the resis getting the odd game here or there, or going out on loan and getting more first team football? I'm not too sure, but yeah, a lot of players coming back from loan spells, so a lot of these guys will go out on loan once again. And a lot of them will sign new contracts once they come and speak to me about signing new deals. So O'Connor, McManus, Soto, Benzai and Matube will probably all get new deals. And what I'd like to do is offer Florentino. Oh, I can negotiate with him straight off the bat. Okay. Well, that's definitely helpful because, yeah, 29 years of age now, but I don't want Florentino going anywhere. Really important player in the team. Let's give him a nice big pay rise up to 90,000. And, yeah, we've discussed about potentially converting him to centre-back this year. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do. Do we stick with Beelan or go with the kid Ben Bull, or do we convert Florentino to centre-back? I'm not too sure. Well, I have just given a contract to Cullen as well, just a 1-year extension, club captain and one of the OGs, so I'm going to keep him here even though he barely featured last season. As for our objectives this campaign, well, the board going pretty big. They want us to win the Premier League after claiming that we've been in a title race the last 2 years. Win the FA Cup, which we lost in the final last season, and also reach the final 4 of the Champions League. Well, that is some big objectives from the board. What I'm actually going to do is sim through one day and just see if we have any players sort of leaving the club or anything. I'm not sure we do, as our budget's gone up by like 20 million. Wage cuts, wage increase. Where's the money come from? I mean, I'm not complaining, but Guerrero's gone out on loan. Performance review. Oh, this was an unexpected event, wasn't it? Outstanding performance of the team, your leadership, and the positive media attention the documentary has brought. We've increased your budget to 148 million. Okay, happy days. A little bit more money to play with. Right, I think I'm just going to start simming through because I want to give a lot of the youngsters new contracts and then loan them out, because I'll only be able to do a 1-year loan unless we tie them down to new contracts. So I'm going to try and sim through, sign them all up to new contracts, and then we will start loaning everyone out. Well, there is our first permanent departure of the window, and I said he probably would leave. It's a one and done for Hakan Çalhanoğlu, and I did quite like him, but he didn't feature too much and he was on the crucial squad role, and I think we've got better players in that midfield, so I'm happy to let Hakan go, and I might bring in a replacement, but to be honest, we've got loads of options in midfield. Well, interesting bid for Juve here coming in from Bilbao. But I think if anybody's going to tempt Juve away, it's going to be one of the top clubs in Europe. You know, your Real Madrids, your Barcelonas, PSG, Bayern Munich. Now we're in the Champions League as well. We've got no reason to sell unless it is one of those real top clubs. So yeah, I'm not letting him go. And now we see our first player conversation where Connor O'Connor, so good they named him twice, wants a contract. I think that pretty much all of the guys with their deals up at the end of the season are going to come to me over the next couple of weeks and sign a new deal. So hopefully I'll be able to show you guys those contracts now. I'd like to think it would be Connor O'Connor, Matthew McManus, Soto, Benzai and Matube, but I will have to wait for those emails to come through. Hopefully they will, and as long as they have, you'll be seeing those contracts being given out now, and all 5 of those guys I think will go on the loan list. I'm not sure on Matube. I might keep him at the club with Hakan leaving because I do want to get him some game time, but I think a loan deal would probably be best for him. Well, guys, that is a very big bid for James Trafford as well. Coming in from Juventus, who I think they were in the Champions League for this year. I don't know. I don't recall where they finished, but I mean, that is a big bid. But I think James Trafford's happy here. I don't think Juventus would tempt him. Maybe if it was a Real Madrid or, as I mentioned earlier, Barcelona, PSG, Bayern Munich. I'm not sure he'd be tempted by Juve. I'm going to turn that down. Oh, for fuck's sake, guys. Excuse my French, but it's happened again. It's happened again. It's happened again. It's happened again. Budget malfunction. It's happened again. What are we playing at? Really? We've lost half of the money again. That is just a joke. Well, we'll probably get it back on deadline day like we did last year, but that means we're going to have half of our budget not available to us until probably deadline day, as I say. I can't believe that. Well, in some good news, I'm changing Benzai to an attacking midfielder. We have got a lot of attacking midfielders, and he can still play deeper, but looking at his stats, I do think he's more of a number 10, so yeah, going to move him slightly further forward looking at those defensive stats. I mean, he can defend, to be fair, but I love the 94 stamina, so he may actually play slightly deeper for us, but I don't know, man. We'll keep him at attacking midfield for now. Ooh, guys, this is an interesting one, and I quite like it as well, you know. I do quite like it. I don't really want to sell Beelan, but I could see him making the switch, you know. And I've already mentioned about potentially moving Florentino to centre-back, trusting Ben Bull as well. I think Beelan's head could be turned here. Manchester City coming in for him. I'm going to negotiate and see what kind of price they'll give us for Tommy Beelan. See, I kind of love it when something like that just comes out of left field and it really, like, spruces up the transfer window. I don't think we'll get 70 million. Is that a little bit too much that we're asking for? I'm going to ask for it. And, well, I was going to say Pep Guardiola, but of course Pep's not there anymore. It's not Pep Guardiola. It's the regen manager, 67.5 million, and he says, yes, we're willing to pay it. I do like Beelan, but I feel like sometimes he does get caught out. Being 6'3", he's not the quickest, and he's not the most agile. And as I say, I'm more than happy to move Florentino to centre-back and have faith in Ben Bull stepping in as well. And I think that's going to be Tommy Beelan. It is big move a couple of weeks into the summer transfer window. Wasn't really planning on selling Beelan, but I think I mentioned it in the previous episode that I'm more than happy with the plan that I just mentioned, but that would mean that Beelan would miss out quite a lot. So maybe he's heard murmurs of it on the training ground, and he says, no, I'm joining one of your big domestic rivals, and he is off to Manchester City for 67.5 million. That's a big move, that. Yeah, and I think what I'm going to do is move Florentino just slot him back, and maybe we'll look to bring in like a world-class midfielder. I'm not too sure. We have got Ugachukwu, who can fill in at centre-back as well, so it's not like we haven't got cover if anything is to go wrong, but I think that's what I might do. We could actually convert Florentino to centre-back. He's not the quickest anyway, playing in that midfield. I do really like him in there, but yeah, only 2 weeks to move him to centre-back. I'm thinking maybe we do that. Move him to CB. Yes, he's not the quickest as well, and I've just mentioned the lack of pace from Beelan, but he's a great defender. And yeah, if we can maybe work on that acceleration a bit as well, then that will certainly help. But I think we move Florentino to centre-back and then maybe bring in a world-class central midfielder. Well, guys, I've still got a few in the pipeline, but I've loaned out a couple of our youngsters. Connor O'Connor has gone to Fulham for 2 years, and Valentin Soto has gone to Palace. So both of those two playing in the Premier League. And we've also seen one of the young wingers, Law, head out to Trabzonspor for just a year. But as we see, the position change for Florentino has now been confirmed. I think what I am going to do is switch him to centre-back. I'm not sure he's going to have an overall change, but I will jump him up to... Oh, I think he has. I think he's gone up to 87, you know. And yeah, with 58 weeks on his next level up, he still could potentially continue to grow, although he's maxed out at the moment. But I think Florentino at centre-back is a great shout. Now, we've also had a couple of interesting bids. I have already seen these, but yeah, very, very big bids. James Trafford, I've already turned down quite a few bids, and again, Spurs finished below us in the league. I think James is going to stay here this year, unless someone like Real Madrid comes in for him. But the main one that I'm looking at, El Hadj Malik Diouf, wanted by Manchester City. Now, my initial thoughts on this are Diouf is a crucial player in the squad, whereas Beelan this year wasn't going to be a guaranteed starter. So, obviously, we finished above Man City last year. They were just below us in the league, but I'm not going to necessarily price him out of a deal. But I'm going to ask for a hell of a lot of money if he is to go. Like, we're talking 100 million. Because I honestly don't think Diouf would force a move. And yeah, Man City say no. And I'm saying, well, that's how much we value him at. He's probably the best left back in the league at the moment. Yes, he's only 83 overall. But 24 years of age. He's going to continue to get better. I don't think he'll see that as being priced out of a move. I think Diouf would be happy to stay at the club. But that is a huge, huge bid coming in from Real Madrid. Now, what I am going to do is spend some of our money. We've got 142 million in the budget, and I'm going to go and make a signing. Yeah, I've got a hell of a lot of names on the shortlist, guys. This has basically been growing since the start of the save. Now, I would really like to potentially bring in Reed at right back, but I don't think we're going to have the money this summer. And again, I'm not sure he'd make the switch from Chelsea to Burnley. So I think I'm probably just going to stick with Jackson for this year. But yeah, I've got a few names on the shortlist that I'm definitely wanting to bring in this year. As I said, we need some real quality brought in, and I have seen a comment to bring in Pau Kubasi, who's still at Leeds United in the save. And whilst I would potentially be interested in doing this, maybe next year I would go back in for Pau Kubasi, but with us just converting Florentino, I think I am probably going to leave him at Leeds for the time being. But one man that I really want to go for is Carlos Baleba. I mentioned about bringing in a real world-class central midfielder, and I mean, this guy was linked massively with Manchester United in the summer, and I think he is a real talent and can step into Florentino's role in the heart of midfield, with Florentino dropping back to centre-back. And the great thing about this as well is we should be able to get him close to that market valuation. He must be within the last couple of years of his contract, and obviously with Brighton being sort of a mid-table club in this save, I can definitely see the pool of Champions League football bringing him to Turf Moor. Let's go get our man. Well, there we go, guys. Carlos Baleba is in, and what a signing I think he is going to prove to be. We paid a little bit more than I was thinking that we might have to for him, 82.5 million, but the initial asking price was, I think, 95 or 96 million, so we still got him a lot lower than the initial asking price. And I mean, look at his stats. He's just so well-rounded. Great stamina, great on the ball, and a great defender with 85 stand tackle, slide tackle, and defensive awareness. 89 interceptions as well. I think he is going to break a lot up in midfield, and at just 25 years of age, he is a great replacement for Florentino, who's going to slot back one into centre-back. We've also loaned out a few more of the youngsters. McManus has gone out on loan to Brentford, I think it was. And Matube is heading to Germany to join up with Wolfsburg. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do is just jump into what will be technically our first game of the season. It's a bit of a glorified friendly, but we're taking on the Champions League winners Real Madrid in the UEFA Super Cup. I'm probably not going to go with my full strength team. There will be some changes, and Baleba will likely be on the bench for this one. So we'll be massive underdogs for it, but as I say, bit of a glorified friendly, and I won't be losing too much sleep if we do end up on the losing side. Come on, you Clarets. They're still deadlocked at 0-0 as we get underway for the second period, and we've defended really well today. Haven't really created much ourselves. Started well in those opening 10 minutes, but this is the level of opposition we're going to have to compete with in the Champions League this year. So it's a really good test for us, and so far we have done really well, especially against that outrageously good Real Madrid front four. As Hannibal, can he get away? He's got 4 chasing him, but it's still Hannibal. And Hannibal from the angle, good save. And Amari couldn't get there on the rebound. But to be honest, we've looked most likely today, as it's lifted for Hannibal again. This time he does really well to control and can't find the target. Well, both sides making some changes here as Unai Emery takes off Victor Osimhen. I'm not sure who's come on. See Jude Bellingham there, and it's Endrick, who... Hang on, wasn't Endrick at Arsenal? Was he on loan? Was he on loan at Arsenal? That's crazy, man. Well, he's back at Real Madrid now, and he's on here today as the Galacticos still searching for that goal, as a Burnley. And the youngster Benzai is on for us. I think I'm going to keep him here this year. Try and get him some game time. As here he is. Benzai might open up for Benzai to shoot, and I love the aesthetic on this guy. And with that 90, is it 93 stamina that he's got absolute bags of energy, and I'd like to get him some football as the corner's into Juve, saved. Oh, and Strand Larsen just couldn't react quickly enough. Camavinga, still the Frenchman. And Camavinga still has it. Where is that whistle, ref? Where is that whistle, ref? Good save by Trafford. And anywhere will do from Damien Burke. Cracking game for a 0-0. Chances at both ends. I'm not sure if we go to extra time or whether it is straight to spot kicks. Well, it is extra time, guys. So we're heading into an extra 30 minutes. I made another couple of changes just to freshen things up. But at the moment, it's Real Madrid with their tails up, and Camavinga runs into Esteve. I think someone's going to win this in extra time, you know. I think there's going to be a goal somewhere. Game's starting to open up. Both teams with fresh legs on the pitch. And as Juve has it down the left, swings across in for Jorgen, and he heads wide of the near post. Well, guys, I was wrong. Not for the first time, but nobody's won it. And we will be heading to spot kicks. And I don't fancy my chances. I love this keeper's aesthetic, man. Oh, man. He is a baller. You can just tell he's a baller. And I fancy he's got a save or two up his sleeve. Yeah, I don't fancy us here. All of Real Madrid's top 6 takers. Oh, as Trafford denies Cole Palmer. I was just going to say, all of their top 6 penalty takers had 85 or above on the finishing, as Jorgen can give us the lead and sends the keeper the wrong way. Vinicius Jr. up next for Madrid. Really has to score. Oh, and Trafford nearly got there. Mind games between he and Vinny. I'm going to the same corner with Jadon, and he scores despite the keeper guessing right. Camavinga up next for the Galacticos. Must score, and does. Gabriel Peck up next. I'm going to do something a bit risky here. Well, it's not the greatest pen. Oh, yes it is. Woo! Straight down the middle from Gabriel Peck, and now Endrick. Oh, Trafford nearly got there. And Hannibal needs to score to keep our lead intact. I'm going top right. I've not been that way yet. And he scores. And if we save here with James Trafford against Jude Bellingham, English colleagues, then we will be lifting the Super Cup to kick off the campaign. Is Jude Bellingham. And he must score. And he's missed the target horrifically. Burnley have won the Super Cup, beating Real Madrid. And this is a real sign of intent from the Clarets. We might be the newbies into the Champions League this year. Yes, it may be a little bit tin pot, but we mean business in the Champions League. We are going to be a force to be reckoned with, as Bellingham's penalty is awful. Trafford did guess right. Whether he would have got there or not, I'm not too sure. But what a way to kick off the season with a trophy. Yeah, we obviously won 2 trophies last year, one of those being the Carabao Cup, which is still a major honour, but it is the lowest of the competitions we compete in, and the Super Cup really is just a glorified friendly, but Maxime Esteve will lift the trophy regardless. And Burnley, yes, it was a 0-0 draw and a penalty shootout victory, but defeating Real Madrid in the Super Cup. And as I say, what a sign of intent with us heading into the Champions League this year and hopefully competing at the top for the Premier League as well. What a brilliant start to the season. Well, how about that, guys? As we get back to the menus, what a brilliant win for Burnley. And we get a little bit of money, which the board will be happy with. I didn't realise our Premier League opener is actually in 2 days' time. And of course, it's them that we're taking on. Manchester United, who of course we relegated 2 seasons ago. They bounced straight back up, as expected, to the Premier League. But we will take them on. Oh, no. There it is. There it is. I can't price him out of that one. Paris Saint-Germain come calling, as I'm going to turn down the bid for Pras. But yeah, I'm not going to price him out of that one. I said if it's one of the top sides, then I won't stand in his way. I didn't want to sell him to domestic rivals Man City, but I think he's going to be gone. Well, he's been a magnificent signing for us since joining from the Hammers in the summer of Season 2, and it looks as if his time at Turf Moor is going to be coming to an end, and it's no real surprise when Luis Enrique and PSG come calling. And I did just take a quick look at their defensive options, and they've not actually got an out-and-out left-back at the club. So it's no surprise that they're looking for someone to fill that position. And with how good Juve has been this year, or since we signed him, not this year, sorry, it's no real surprise that they've come in for the Senegalese fullback. And as I say, we've done well with Burnley. We are developing and building the club, and we're in the Champions League. But I'm going to be realistic. I can't stand in a player's way when it is the likes of Paris Saint-Germain. So yeah, not really what we were expecting this summer window. Beelan already joining Man City, and now Juve looks as if he's joining PSG. I was not expecting to lose 2 of our key defenders from last season, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes in football. But what we will do, guys, is close out with our first game of the campaign. Newly promoted Manchester United at home at Turf Moor. I'm sure they will be out for revenge, as they have a torrid record against us throughout the course of this save. And after we relegated them on matchday 38 a few years ago, I'm sure, as I say, they will want revenge. But for us, we want to kick off the season with 3 points as we look to be in a title race once again this year and potentially go all the way. Come on, you Clarets. Yeah, I mean, this United team is still pretty decent, even after, of course, being relegated and now returning back to the top flight. So I'm expecting a tough game to kick off, and I don't really know what to expect from United this season. Are they going to be up at the top? Are they going to be struggling again? Was it just a bit of a one-off when they did go down? I'm not too sure, but as they're on the front foot here, strike comes in, and that is not far away from Manuel Ugarte. Not got off to the best start here as United on the front foot. Bruno finds Ugarte. Nice ball into Joshua Zirkzee. Florentino with some defending to do. New position for him. Sesko, lovely football by United. And Kobbie Mainoo opens the scoring. It's the first time they've been forward since the opening 5 minutes. But the Manchester United Academy grad opens the scoring on match day 1 up against Diaby. There's Scott. Make the run, Hannibal. Hannibal, oh, what a block. And Hannibal's hit the deck there and stayed down as Esteve flies in, doesn't get the ball. And, well, we saw a really early injury to Amari Hutchinson at the end, the beginning of last season, which kept him out for 7 months. And I fear for Hannibal here, as he's going to need the stretcher. Killing Jr. forward to Amari, who's now come out to this left-hand side. And Larson finds Amari. Dinked in for Damien Burke in the middle. Takes his time, and the kid off the bench. Oh, gets us back on level terms. That's how simple it is. But we just couldn't find a way through. Came on for the injured Hannibal, and I thought the defender was maybe going to get back on the cover, but Damien drills in the equaliser. Had a brilliant breakout season last year, and now can he take his game to the next level? Well, is there time for us to win it? Killing Jr. does well, gets the pass off, and again, and Burke finds Amari. Great chance to win it. Amari Hutchinson. Someone in the middle, Jorgen wins it for Burnley. And we've deserved it today. We've been the better side. We've just been a little bit rugged in our forward play. But Jorgen Strand Larsen is going to win it for Burnley. I've mentioned throughout the course of last season, is he the man to be, to lead the line in a title-winning side? And I've said before, it's hard to argue when he's now scored 40 Premier League goals for the club. I think this will be his 4th season at the club. He struggled in his first year, but was brilliant in the last 2 seasons. That is now 40 goals in realistically what is the last 2 years, and we will win on match day 1, which is the perfect start to the season. Had to come from behind, but Jorgen wins it at the death. And what a way to close out the first episode of Season 5, because that is going to do it, guys. We're going to leave it there, and we'll be back in the next episode to close out the remainder of the summer transfer window. With the El Hadj Malik Diouf saga still ongoing, we will probably need to replace him, and hopefully we will see the remaining funds that are in the frozen bank account return to us, which will probably happen on transfer deadline day. So I'm expecting another couple of signings, and you definitely won't want to miss that next episode, as the end to that Diouf transfer saga will come to an end. I'll catch you for it very soon, guys. Take care and peace.